There we go. All right, so I will record this and do a screen share. And make sure we got the right thing shared. Basically, what we've been doing is I'm just going over what we did with the course. I did a quick overview of me. And this link is right inside the syllabus of the class. Okay, so it's right there. So this website, you can see it's phillipsd.com. This is my vanity plate in cyberspace. And then the last two is smile power and body language. And these are just ways to help present yourself. When you walk into a room to an interview, you don't want to walk like this. That's not going to help you at all, right? But you don't want to be like this either. You know what's right for you. What gives you the sense of confidence you need. And that's kind of what that last thing was about. And this book review is it's in 3 parts. And you'll read the first part, make some comments on it to prove to me that you read it, basically. But there are principles in there that are still applicable today, even though the technology he's talking about is like from the late 90s, okay? But the stories he's telling are applicable, okay? So I want you to just kind of see what you can get out of the book. And the nice thing about this is that I told earlier in the class, Brian Larson used to teach here, and he wrote this book. He now is making more money writing science fiction. So if you go to BV Larson, Amazon.com, you can find all his books. And they're like $5-6 a piece. And it's military sci-fi. So wars and battles and things. Moves at a really fast clip. Very entertaining. Very addicting. But his book brings out very cyclical type of things that you need in tech. One chapter simply says, just get the degree and be done with it. And then he goes in, and the chapter goes into why. Okay. And I have that particular chapter I have seen over and over in my career. People who didn't get the degree, but had all the technology, they were better than anybody in the company, but they were the ones that never got promoted and got laid off because they didn't have the degree like the boss did. Okay. All right. So basically, what we'll be doing, the big thing for this, the 2 big things in this class are you build a portfolio piece and guest speakers. And the guest speakers I get in, like we'll have one next week that was a student here, is now over at Valley Works, and he's been doing stuff over there. He's going to come in and talk about Bay Valley Tech. And I'll let him do the pitch about that. And several of our students they've actually launched consulting gigs over there at Bay Valley Tech. So you're going to have time to build a project and fail with impunity. Okay. So the goal is to have a good project so it looks good in your portfolio, so you can use it as a brag tag. Because the reality is, degree, yeah, but show me what you can do. That's really how you're going to get your job. A former student who's, I think his uncle was an HR exec over at Apple, or is an HR exec. And they said, we don't want resumes. Show us LinkedIn and GitHub. Prove to me you know what you're doing. Okay. Now, I will also ask you to consider the following. Salvador, former student, got into security discovered a few very interesting things about Samsung Pay, and now flies all over the world showing people about Samsung Pay and the security problems and how to remediate it. Here at JC, now worldwide consultant, making more money than God. I asked him, knowing what you know now, what would you do differently? I'd start a blog sooner. What kind of blog? A learning blog. This is what I'm working on. I'm putting together a Raspberry Pi to be my own VPN server. This is how I did it. I am taking that same Raspberry Pi and setting it up to control my house. That kind of thing. Show what you've been learning in a easily digestible format. Okay. Now, when somebody like that says, I would have started a blog sooner, you want to pay attention because he's all over the globe. Okay. And so we'll do some team creation tonight. What I did is you will find that in, I don't know if that actually works or not. When I did project groups, this is, I just set that. Where'd it go? Let me double check that. Okay, let me log out, log back in again. Maybe I didn't hit save. Anyway, the groups for the folks that are online, we'll try to figure out how we'll do, because I know a few are like unable to physically be on campus at all. If you want to be able to use the hardware here, there we go. You do need to be on campus. The racks in that room are only available by way of, I believe, East Campus, mostly. I know it works in the CAT building. I have not walked into the other buildings to check to see if our subnet in that room is available to, say, the library. My hunch is probably not, because they are very good at VLANing everything off and making things, very segment to keep the traffic down. So there's a less chatter on the network. So the groups I put together are strictly random, and you can meet each other, talk to each other, talk about what you want to do. Like if 3 of you want to do something with a game, fine, do a game. And I'll give you some clues about game. Write it first. In other words, write the storyline first and everything about the game first, then code. Because all the teams that we've had over the years that have done games, 10, maybe 1 has been a success. And that 1 was because she had a master's in English and she wrote the story out first. She had everything about the game, the storyline, how the points were obtained, what weapons and so on. And then she wrote the code. She had a success. Okay. All right. And she shows up in the Jeremy video. Okay. And I'll introduce you to the Jeremy video. Some of you may have seen it, some of you have not. So this is just strictly random, so you can get to know each other and talk and say, hey, I want to do security. I want to do security too. So maybe you could be a team. Or, hey, I want to do everything I need to do a business. So I need a networking person, a database server guy, and maybe an OS guy. And put them all together and create everything you need for a business. Okay. I had a couple of teams over the years use VMware, VirtualBox, QEMU, Zen, KVM, and built out an entire network, all virtual. what was really cool is that they had several of their clients boot over the virtual network, the operating system, to the virtual machine. So they booted a virtual machine from a virtual machine over the virtual network. That was pretty cool. You know, so it's not hard to do, but they went through a lot of steps to make it work right. Okay, so that was very interesting. It was fun. Okay, and I'll show you an example template of what one of these particular labs were. Now I can go into, I've got a lot of them. And what I will do to start with is show you, this is just an example template. This is one, like, it's a rage cage, is what they called it. It's a fighting game, you know, where they were in a box and they were boom, boom, boom. They did a really good demo. They used a combination of technologies, and this is what they pitched. Okay, this is basically, this was their end game. They were done. Okay, this is the last week of the semester. This is what they presented. Okay, so this is what they did. They were using Unity. Let's jump into the deep end of the pool, and we have 16 weeks. Oops. That was their thing. And it's like, we should have learned that sooner. That's a big, fat, thick tool. Okay. And when they learned what scripting was, they were doing C# and how to deal with the editor that they were using and working within 3D space. All this stuff was a little tough when they'd never seen it before, saying, hey, I want to write a game. It's like, oh, that wall's kind of hard. Yeah. Or steep, I should say, right? Learned how to better explain our thought processes and figure out problems, how to set weekly goals. Okay, this is where that project management stuff comes in. You got to plan your work, work your plan. Do not deviate. You tell people, here's the plan, we're going to do the work. Now we work the plan, but we need this thing. No, we'll wait till we're done. Then we'll do that thing. Okay. And this is what their successes were. Semi-decently, which is true. They had all these big ideas, but they got the basic part of it working. Okay. They learned a lot. Lessons learned. They needed somebody to kind of keep tabs on who was doing what, because they had a 4-person team and they ended up crossing over work and then leaving bunches out. So there was not as much coordination as they would had liked. Plan first. Yeah. Okay. File management was terrible. Do you know where your stuff is when you save your file? Yeah. 101. That's still a problem, even in the advanced programming classes. Where's my stuff? Well, where'd you save it? I don't know. I just hit, if I go to recents, I can find it. Well, where's the rest of it? Well, I don't know. Well, you need to know that to make it work. Okay. Don't download a lot of assets at once. Yeah. Storage limit, comment, organized code, all of it. They couldn't do it all because, you know, eating an elephant in a day. Okay. Now they happen to have a really good group that they meshed well together. I've had teams where it's one of the things you're going to do is you're going to create your team and you're going to create a contract amongst yourselves. So you get the privilege to vote somebody off the island. And they will have to go do their own thing or join another team. Deadwood is Deadwood, and you can have a single project by yourself and still fail. Okay. So gotta be ready to do the work. All right. So they were how, respect. Okay. And this is what they would do differently. And spend more time learning before we started coding. Minor details, but you don't know that at the beginning of a class like this. You have this great idea for a project. And off you go. Ah, I have just fallen off the deep end. Okay. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about kind of setting some things, but you don't want to set it so narrow that you can finish your entire project in 3 weeks. Remember, this is an experience for you to make your portfolio pop. So when you go to that interview, you can prove you know what you're doing. Okay, so think about the job you want to do and what will get you there and what kind of project will help you get to that interview. Okay, that's what this class is about. Okay, so that's kind of what that was, the thing. So think of what you want to do, kind of a project, and we'll break up into teams and kind of do that. And the folks that are online, I know of a few of you that are going to be online all the time. So I don't know about the rest of you. Okay. Now, let me ask that question to the team here. I'll go into chat. Okay. Now I will go to chat here. Now, one of the dynamics that works well is if you have the opportunity to meet together in person, on campus, library, wherever. Okay. So obviously geography is going to be a part of this puzzle. Some of the folks that are online, I know, cannot do that. That doesn't mean we can't do projects if everybody's remote. It's just a lot harder to manage. Okay. It is possible. Okay. And this semester, next week, we have a guest speaker. I don't know what's going to happen the week after that, but I will have an outline of where the classes are going to be, because I'll be in and out throughout the summer. So some of the time we'll be on Zoom. Some of the times we'll be in classroom. And some of the time I will get a guest speaker who's on the East Coast. And I may very well record that ahead of time and post that. And that'll be your work. Okay. So it's going to be kind of a true high flex, as they say. So it will be a combination of online, in person. Tonight, I kind of wanted everybody here who could get here to do the meet and greet and work with your teams. Okay. So you can see that I've broken the teams up. This is totally random. And the leader is totally random. So at least start there, talk about what you want to do, and you may have some synergy, and that's good. Or you know, I don't want to be in this group, and then talk to other people. Okay. So I do need a sign-in sheet, so I'll pass this around and just put your initials in here, and so I can verify who came and didn't, and then I'll do that here. All right, so there's a few. Yeah, one is out of state, completely out of state, which is fine. Okay. So I think there's 2 that are completely out of state and unable to attend. Okay. So I think Steve. And spell your name right. Hmm. Okay. Now, we'll record all this, and I can't remember if the chat session gets recorded. It does get recorded, but I have to post it separately, I think. Okay. So there's two that I know of. All right. So mingle, go and talk to each other, shake hands, meet each other, shout. Hey, I'm Kevin. Who's on my team?
You're in the last class.
Oh, yeah.
You were on the other side, but you went to Zoom. For now, yeah. It was for my, all the math on the side.
Thank you.
You need, how one, two, well, this is my lesson. You're a president for you. Everything, right? That's right. I've always done things.
You know where the bathrooms that's open?
It's a lot. Yeah, you have to go downstairs and go all the way around. Oh, sorry about that. That's the only one that's close. Is it's basically downstairs outside. Sorry about that. I don't have a key.
Sure. I think this is for networking and stuff like that. I get all the people. I did it back in the day, dropped out and so close. I just needed the previous, I needed the Visual Studio in 2021. Visual Basic one. For 3 years. So, you never want to finish. And Visual Basic ones. Took so long, but I'm glad it had.
Okay. Which one are you?
Okay,
All right.
all right. So online, we have two that are truly, they'll be a team. That'll be Gomeri and Majib. And then Michael, and then John, Ryan, and Gian. We're local to Modesto. So if you see them in your teams, I'll make sure everybody has access to everybody else's email, so we can be in touch that way too. So we can take tonight, make this the round one, get things moving. Maybe these guys want to be a team together online. That could happen. It's very informal how the teams work, because at the very, very beginning, you don't really know what you want to do quite yet. But then as you start moving, you realize, I really don't want to do this project. I want to do that project. That's fine too. Okay. So you're allowed to move around in these groups. Okay. But one of the things I want you to come up with tonight is some sort of a loose contract amongst yourselves. Okay. So you create your team of 3 and say, okay, everybody's going to carry their own weight. And if you don't, this is the penalty. And this is how we will know. If we don't hear from you over the 72-hour time frame, we will consider you off the team, or might be longer, might be less, depending on whatever it is you decide to come up with. Okay. It's up to you to come up with that contract. Okay.
I meant like, oh, yeah.
Sure.
So I'm not actually properly enrolled in the class yet. I needed an authorization code. It was asking me for.
Oh,
Yeah. So
let's get that fixed right now.
Okay.
I pretty sure oh, I see what we need to do. Here's how it works. Okay. From my standpoint, I have to give you, you're not on the wait list.
no, yeah, 'cause
Okay.
it need the authorization. code
Okay,
before
so I
get
need to
that.
give you permission / add authorization, and then I need your student ID number.
It's been a while. Wait, see if I can pull it up real quick.
Okay.
And I'll be right back.
So do I talk to somebody?
Yeah, the teams that we started with, you can kind of look at who's on your team.
Yes. And you are getting started. We're in group 5. Yeah.
Okay, let's see here.
Group 2.
Group 2. Oh, Abdul is totally online. Majib is his name. And he's going to be teamed up with them there. So we can move. I wonder if I can move these around. All right. Oh, here we go. Here, here. Melissa. Okay, Melissa, who's in your team? Have you talked to anybody yet?
Just have one person and it looks like they're online.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'm moving stuff around, so Melissa, you can talk to James here. And so just before that, and you just jump in and start talking to people and say, hey, I want to be in your team, or
I have, I think he's at home. Whatever's fine. How goes it?
did you find it?
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's all right. I can honestly say, I don't know what mine is either.
Let's see. 0839-236.
You do?
236.
236.
You already have pictures and everything?
Jacob,
Yes.
all right,
Oh, your thing there?
click here, add authorization, authorization granted.
Okay.
So now you should see, you'll have to go into, what is it, self-service?
I
Okay.
think so. Yeah.
And then you should see a blue link in the upper right-hand corner, and click on it, it'll be added to the class.
Okay. Okay.
And it should happen pretty quickly. And then once you're added to the class, it may be an hour or two before you get to campus.
Okay.
Because that's a batch job.
Gotcha. And then eventually I'll get added
You'll be,
to.
you're right.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
So if you found a team you're
Yeah, I'll
talking to,
keep talking about it.
okay, perfect. Just add your name to that.
I don't know, that's my second.
I'd be down to learn.
Then just be as simple as turning a blinking light on and off.
Okay.
Guy, feel free to share.
Probably more code base. More code base. Base. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Sure. That could be.
I don't know if you have. Do you have
I have Android. He has iPhone.
iPhone?
So,
I have Android.
my two thoughts are like, maybe I don't know if it sounds lame, but like a restaurant, like a restaurant type of thing. Or like a translator. You would have like a video. Translation. What do you mean where?
Where you talking about?
Like, if you want to learn what. Give a video on how to say it, or also like spell it.
Then I realized.
You know, like voice.
That sounds cool too, but I do not know how to do that.
I've got like 30 of these.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, 30 of them. Is Jim on? Jim.
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Do you want me to ping him for you guys? So Derek and Lizette.
Yep.
Okay. Go ahead and. You know what? I might work on the Zoom. You might be able to do the chat with the Zoom. All you need for the meeting ID is my office phone number and there's no password. So it's just 209-575-6761. That's the meeting ID. And we'll use the same one all semester. So you can pop into the Zoom meeting and then you'll be able to do the chat because Gian's online right now. Pardon me, I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name wrong.
I got like,
Gian, how would you say that? Gian? Gia? Jean? I don't know. I'm sorry.
Do we not have them?
I'm sorry. By messing up their name. So group 4. Okay. All right, so that leaves 3 online.
That sounds really fascinating, but I don't know. I don't know. Yeah,
I mean.
it sounds really cool. I just don't know. Personally. I think you might have to boot me off the island. I do not know. It sounds really fascinating. But
I think it would require some coding and operating.
Oh, Gene, okay. All right, sorry, Gene. Gene, Lizette and Derek are jumping online so they can see you on Zoom, at least in chat. Okay.
have a good that.
Okay, good.
How can you
Ask.
background now?
I meant more like you type the thing you want to know how to say. And it will pop up with the video. And the language.
Okay.
So whatever language you want it is. Like, I don't know it per se, but like you could do Spanish or you could do, because you know, like, or sign language or whatever. Or whatever language. I don't know French, but French.
Could be a little bit closer to easier.
Korean. Would do, I mean, there might be somebody who might wanna dive into that. It's really fascinating. It's just not. My cups of tea. You can put me off the island, it's okay. What are you thinking? Now? Okay, I'm doing for like an app or website. Probably be more in my willpower. Don't not do yours. Yours is cool.
Website or well, let me make it like a from all the restaurants. Food menu and put them in that readable format.
Okay. Yeah. So like anyone can read it.
So like anyone can read it or the screen reader.
That's sick. I like that. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I like that. That way like your phone can read it to you. Say, hey, what can I order from Subway? Okay,
You know, talking like
Yeah.
this.
That's it. I like that. I don't know how to do that, but I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. What do you think? Yeah,
We did it in.
genuinely useful.
Universally, friendly, you know,
I like that. Yeah,
because.
Yeah,
like,
very
a lot of
weird how.
Places have media, you know, how pictures.
yeah, yeah. I should go on like DoorDash or something where it's text. But yeah, most of them are that or pictures or something.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, I like that.
we can work with that.
That's a great idea. That almost combines kind of the two things.
What
I
do
was
you
thinking,
think? What do you think?
You ever worked with a Raspberry Pi?
Huh?
that's super useful too.
Yeah, super useful.
Very. Cool. Okay. What do we want to do? What? What language would we use?
What language should it be?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Any? I think like. Java?
Not for new language.
Java maybe? Something more basic, yeah.
Rust is high level and low level language together.
I'll look into it. I'll look into how to read. So we would just need it to read the picture, read the menu,
Read the picture and the menus and then.
translate to or like text.
Yeah.
Or my website.
Read the menu, and translate it to text. So anyone can hear it or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
I think iPhone does something similar. Don't they? I think iPhones have something similar to that, but it would only be for iPhones. Yeah, iPhones I think have that where like the picture function works like that, like you can read text, but Android doesn't have it. Let's do it. Like it.
Okay.
Let's do that. I feel bad we didn't use yours.
No, that's just. Next.
No idea. I just have no. I like your idea. Very nice. You're very helpful.
Yeah. I don't know. That website, you have to know.
I'm not super familiar with CSS, but it's similar to HTML. Confident. I'm confident I can look it up. HTML is pretty.
Well, what about Java?
Yeah, I was just thinking, is it similar to Java?
It's.
Ish, kind of. Okay, I took Java.
How to make script.
And what, if I don't know it, I don't think JavaScript is too difficult.
I need to log in, this thing is telling me to.
Google.
You're not getting unlocked.
Oh, yeah, when you log into the box, every time you start it, just hit enter. I'd say, hit cancel. It won't matter. Yeah, keep going. There you go. Because what happens is the new versions of Ubuntu don't have a guest account per se. So the guest account we have is my hack of a guest account.
Oh, that's good.
So when you boot the box, you get a temporary partition that gets recreated every time you boot. But it's a copy from a previous point in time that wasn't that clean, which is why you get the question every time. It's on my to fix list. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Nice project for somebody.
How do you like the mouse?
So if you guys are comfortable with your teams, go ahead and just scribble your names on a piece of paper and let me know who you are. Okay. Realizing that things are going to change from tonight and next week, because we've got a few folks that are online that will be in class. Okay. But we have 2 of the 6 that are online that are going to be a team. So the 4 that are online, Gene will be with you guys, right? Okay, so there'll be 3 that they might be their own team or they'll be part of you guys. So we can finish a lot of that up. So think about your contract that you want to do. I'll post an assignment of what that's about. Okay. And before we all jump and leave, what I would like to do is answer a question I got from James earlier this month, really taken me forever to answer, is what about a coding job in light of GPT and AI? Okay. This is another little sales pitch thing that if you're not, you should be a member of ACM. It's $19 a year. And it includes the equivalent of a $500. Oh, it's way more than that now. I don't even know what it costs per month. I don't even want to guess. But Pluralsight, I don't know if you've heard of Pluralsight. It is an online technical specific training classes. I need to learn React. I need to learn Vue.js. You go to Pluralsight and you can learn everything you need to know about that tool. I need to learn Puppet, Chef, SaltStack. Pluralsight's the place to go to get those hard skills that are specific on resumes. Okay, we'll talk about job descriptions as we go, but I'll demo some of this stuff. Is you just do a student membership and yearly rate $19. And when you log in, I'll log in as me here. And let's see. Oh yeah, I need to. Their website does need help. Okay. When you create an account, they'll create an account with whatever email you want, but then you'll have a web account. Okay. And this web account is separate from the ACM. That web account is the one that has the APIs and the SSLs to connect you to Skillsoft and Pluralsight. So they know you're a member of the ACM to get to this free training. Okay. So when you sign in, so their website needs some help, but it's a steal in the big scheme of things. Okay. And it's there. So I need to go to
My ACM.
yeah, manage my account emails. I want to go to training. That's me. Services. I want to go to the training room. Learning, I think is what it is. Learning. Their website keeps changing, so bear with me. There it is. Okay, learning.acm.org. I'm already logged in. So Principio used to be called Skillsoft. They have like 50,000 ebooks on various topics that you can read. You can't download them per se, but you can print a few pages here and there. And Pluralsight, they've been around a while, and I got excited when I saw this. This is something that companies pay for a lot of money to keep their employees sharp on the latest and greatest, okay? What is interesting about this, let's say I want to learn something about, I don't know, let's pick one. Let's see what I got here. Let's pick one about IT ops here. And let's start with architecting with the Google Cloud. And notice there is something called this skill IQ. This is a pre-test, post-test equivalent of what you know and what you don't. So you can say, hey, I want to learn Google Cloud. What's my skill IQ? They ask you a bunch of questions. They find out where you are. That's where you start your learning. So you don't waste your time learning the beginning all over again and again and again, okay? I think it's a great way to do things when you've learned how to learn. You just need to get what you need to get so you can get the job done, okay? You don't need to learn everything. I just need to get point to point X. This is great for that, okay? And so so they also have it in things like programming languages or databases. Did you know Postgres, if compiled with the correct switch, has a complete R interpreter built in? R is a statistical language, and they use it very extensively in medical. And Postgres can be parallel. So you can have massively parallel data running R all inside of the database. No external tools. Pretty powerful stuff, okay? So they're off, you can do certification. Pick one. Lots of certifications. And people have asked me, do certifications help? This is my approach on certifications. In the absence of experience, certifications can get you the interview, okay? It's a differentiating factor from everybody else on the street, okay? Where it really makes sense is if the boss wants it. Then, hey, Mr. Boss, I want to go get the Microsoft cert. He says, okay, here's the money, go get it. That's when it counts, because that means pay raises, okay? If the boss doesn't care, well, then don't waste your time. Save that for another employer, okay? But on your own, building up a couple of certs here and there that you know you want is not going to hurt you. In my view, Linux Plus, that's one of the most generic right now that covers all kinds of things, because if you want to go into security, you got to know Linux. You want to go to cloud, you got to know Linux. You want to go to big databases, got to go to Linux. It's kind of like a foundational piece to the rest of the puzzle, okay? A+, okay, I know what a CPU is, I know what a fan is, I know what an interrupt is, okay? My personal take is, I don't want the A+ because I don't want to be the guy schlepping boxes around the company. Let me get the Network Plus instead, and I'll do the networking. Okay. So some entry-level jobs require you get the A+. That's fine. Get it. Okay. But keep in mind that where do you want to go? Okay. What do you want to do? Okay. So this is all, And I will tell you, and if you are AWS certified architect, you will be staying employed. That's several certifications, and it's not easy to get to. And you really have to know the Amazon cloud in and out to be able to get all those certifications out of the way. Okay. Okay. Machine learning, but this is for $19 a year. You can't afford not to at least look at this. Okay. So let's look at C++. Okay, I need skills, not certifications here. Let's see here. Let me widen that out. This over. Let's do programming. Whoops. Try that again. So this is what's kind of cool, is that you can actually see how good you are or aren't with C++ based off of your 1 or 2 semesters. You can do the same thing with Python. Okay. And C#, Java. So this is kind of like a, oh, wow, I got an A in the class, but I suck. Okay. What's it take to be a good programmer? Practice, practice, practice. Not IQ, not brains. Practice. It's like music. Hitting a home run, shooting a 3-pointer. Practice. Okay. All right. That's what I wanted to say about the $19 a year. Okay. All right. I'm going to notes. Let's see what else I've got in here. Very second. And then I'll go over that one probably later. All right. Team creation. Now, when we have a guest speaker, and you happen to be here and the speaker's up here and you're talking to the speaker, it's their chance to tell their story of how they got to where they are. Okay. So you can ask all kinds of questions, you know, whatever comes to your mind. But be courteous and ask insightful questions. And they vary by semester. And so you take notes and you just kind of write down a few of the answers and you just post them. Okay. It's for your benefit. Okay. Like knowing what you know now, Mr. Speaker, what would you do differently? Talking to your younger self when you were just starting out in this business, knowing what you know now, what would you say? Okay. The answers have been all over the map. Okay. And just some other fun things. Okay. All right. On that, I think what I want to do is I'll put all this stuff off till later. So as the lectures go forward and the recording gets processed, I will put the link to the recording here. Because what I have to do is download it from Zoom and then upload it to YouTube, because Zoom does not store things very long. Okay. So when I download it and then upload it to YouTube, they close caption it with one of their AI agents. So it's really kind of fun to see what my words come out after it gets processed. So I may be saying something wasn't even close to what I was really saying, but it's kind of fun to look at. Okay. But this is where they'll be. So if you're out of town or whatever, you should be able to pick up previous weeks. Okay. So if there is for example, if I happen to be out of town and I connect with somebody on the East Coast, get everything recorded, that night's lecture will be that recording. Okay. So that's how that's going to go. All right. Everybody feel fairly comfortable of what we're kind of trying to do in this class? The big thing is have fun and make a great project, okay? And learn something from the guest speakers, okay? All right. Okay. Go through any of those, go through that one. All those will come later. Oh, I do need to answer this question. This is also part of the ACM. It's called Career News. It's telling you what's going on in the job market right now. Now it says, need a job? Tech remains a good bet despite layoffs in Silicon Valley. And they have a link to where that article is. How ChatGPT could change hiring as we know it. Nearly 4 in 5 employers struggle to fill IT jobs. So there's still a lot of jobs out there. Will you have to relocate? Probably. Okay. Startups are slowing down a little bit. 5 high-paying IT jobs that do not require a degree. Avoid these 6 phrases when looking for a new job. In other words, things that you should not put in your cover letter. Okay. This is a good one. Generative AI is changing your technology career path. So I want to be a programmer and an expert in neuroscience and biology. I want to be a programmer and understand chemical engineering. I want to be a programmer and understand the medical industry. That's where you're going to find the sweet spot that's never going to get, shall we say, laid off. The intersection between IT and business process. That job is never going to get automated because the business process is too human. And humans are messy. Things don't work right. Okay. Remote jobs. Okay. So this is, you can answer your question, what should I major in, by spending some time on the ACM side. Okay. Another thing for good old $19 a year. Okay. All right, so if all of you are comfortable, and put your names on your list, and we'll get this as groups start 1. And then next week we'll meet and then shuffle around some more if we need to. And we'll go from there. Okay. So any questions, complaints, and arguments?
We haven't picked a project yet, are we in trouble?
You're gonna have to yell at the deaf guy.
If we haven't picked a project yet, are we in trouble?
No, of course not. No, you're never in trouble in this class. Okay, no, it's that if you've got a mesh and you feel some synergy going on in the group and you got some ideas you want to do. I've had people, some of my very best students, they would happen to be in all the same group. And they, for the life of them, could not come up with a project. Every single one of them was employed. Every single one of them, all they did was fix broken stuff. I mean, very complex broken stuff, all IT related. I said, we cannot come, we're not that creative. We know how to fix broken things. And I said, well, give us some time. And they spent their time. The first project was crash and burn. Second half of the semester, they built out an entire organization on AWS using their free tour. In less than, 6 weeks. They were putting in the hours, but all of that stuff they took back to their jobs. So that was pretty cool. That was pretty convincing. Okay. So don't be afraid to fail and start over. You want to fail fast. You don't want to get to week 15 and say, oh, this isn't going to work. We need a new project. 1 week left. You in Foster Farms, I saw them literally flush over $1 million down the drain. Why? They had the wrong people in play. What happened was the managers decided they wanted an accolade, so they worked with the consultants to implement the demand planning software in SAP. They went to implement it, and the people that actually did the job almost revolted, and whole department almost quit. And all that work went. They had to start over with the right people in play. Lesson learned. Wasn't my fault. That's for darn sure. Well, those managers were set free to pursue other opportunities. Okay, so project management, when you're dealing with millions and millions of dollars, failure can be expensive in more than one way. Okay, this is why typically project managers are part of a consulting group that are brought in with to a company, so the company can say, I hate you, and the project manager says, that's my job, you hate me, but we're not deviating one jot or tittle from the project plan until we're done. Then we go back and revisit things you want.
If a subordinate says they hate you, if a subordinate says they hate you, it'd be correct and only answer, that's not on the sprint.
Yep, yes, it's like, sorry, it's not on here, we cannot do this, you know. We'll circle around to that. Okay. We'll talk more about that later. Okay. All right, on that note, I'm done, so feel free to hang out. If you want to play on the machines in the back, I'll show you what we got.
Yes.
And I'll give you a tour. And I'll send out that video. I don't know if this will work or not.
Listen. Or Mel.
I'm curious. Oh, I do need to show you this. Some of you already seen this.
Hey guys, Chelsea here, coming to you from Modesto Junior College's Center for Advanced Technologies.
She's working in North Carolina,
Computer graphics. and
making
computer
buku
science.
bucks.
In this
She's
video,
the one that
I'm
had
gonna
the
tell you
success in the
about
game
Jeremy Michael
in this
Children's
class.
Lab. Let's go. Here we are. Linux is an operating system like Windows or Mac.
Most everybody you see in the video is making bank right now.
Amazon, Twitter, Facebook, and Google.
It wasn't that long ago when we made this,
There are over 68,000 computing jobs available in
except that funny
Only
looking guy right
4,000
there.
computer
He's not
science
making bank.
graduates. So there's a lot of opportunity in this field.
Computer science has never been about being a genius. It's just, it takes a lot of
In
effort.
Mexico,
Just like
working
anything
with
else,
his
just to
dad,
be good at math, you have to
doing all
continuously
kinds of
try
cool things.
to get better at it.
I think a common misconception about computer science
don't
is
know
that
where
it's
she is right
just left brained. But in my experience, you have to be both logical and creative. If I had known that sooner, then I think that I would have pursued this field at an earlier age.
It's a big deal for a junior college to have such an impressive Linux lab. And the story of how it came to be is pretty incredible. Jeremy Michael Kelly was raised in Modesto and attended MJC before
That's a
going
picture
on
in
to
the
work
back.
for Zynga as assistance administrator. His life was cut short in a tragic accident at the young age of 25. In his honor, the Kelly family made a donation to create a dedicated Linux lab at MJC.
Linux was one of Jeremy's passions. We're so excited that his legacy lives on.
And later, former MJC computer science student Jonathan Leal who went on to work in Lino.
All those servers,
spearheaded a
that's what
donation of
he sent to
over
us. All we had to do is pay for
270
shipping. They were gonna throw them
very
away.
valuable servers from Lino to the Jeremy Michael Kelly Linux Lab.
He's working in
Dedicated
artificial
to that wasn't part of
intelligence,
the original plan for this building.
making
But
tons
thanks
of
to these
money.
outstanding students and the Kelly family paying it forward, we now have an advanced Linux lab where students can provision hardware, learn to create a cloud computing
wanna do this, we
infrastructure,
can do
or
this.
actually build a computer room from scratch. The lab has 30 machines, each with 32 gigs of RAM and a high-end video card. You can take classes here that will help you learn technologies for things like web development, system-level programming, and even the foundations of innovative industries like machine learning and artificial intelligence. Some classes taught in the Linux lab include beginning and advanced Linux, web scripting, web databases, problem solving, and introduction to programming. You can get an AA, AS, or certificates in a variety of computer science majors. I appreciate what the
She's working in networking up north in Salida.
Representing someone like Mr. Jeremy Kelly and what he contributed to computer science, and I hope to have more of an impact on that.
He's making more money than God in security. He's former military, already had a top secret clearance.
So even if you didn't think computer science was your thing, maybe we at least inspired you to come check it out. Because no matter what industry you're trying to get into, chances are you're going to need to know your way around a computer. So come check out the Jeremy Michael Kelly Linux Lab here at MJC and start your career today.
And that's it.
Hey, so where are these servers at?
Pardon?
Hey, so where are these servers at? Is that next?
Yep. So class is over. If you want a tour, I'll give you a tour.
272 high performance machines. Step right up before high performance. Step right up.
Yeah, you can these are yours to play with.
Okay. I saw that on his syllabus.
Go on, the announcements for the invite link
Okay.
on in, and we can coordinate from there.
Sounds good. So we go on JavaScript? JavaScript?
Yeah, that's gonna be our programming language
Okay.
for building the website, programs.
Sounds good.
CSS is not a programming language, so.
Sounds like a plan.
Alright.
Sounds good.
Alright.
Sounds like a plan. Sorry, had my back turned.
Most of them have.
You won't get AIS on this hardware. It's not IDM hardware. That's hardware. But Windows, I would not even try to read. Cards are still Steam. The Linux room to grow. And then on the other side. Well, that's not technically fine. This room is fine, but once you get your operating system configured, you get to SSD, there's not anywhere. It needs to just look at it. And you will have to test wireless. They need some changes to that. So I don't know if wireless is going to be valid because they didn't be landing more often because of the security and having up and down. That we have the JFK, not is this one right here. And this is a branded one that I just thought $50,000. It's got like grand. And they so it's separate. The network people said actually all traffic routes through their big gate. So my mail server surround mail from mail doesn't working because they put working live behind that. It's got an exception on everything that goes in the next. But we still need to do a lot of things. So think of want to do like building out the base for it. How would you put an active directory on all the income? Can you do it? There's always there. Then I use AD. Maybe I should just use LDAP. Not worry about it. LDAP is what AD is. Yeah, AD is LDAP is over here. Microsoft did it pretty extended it so far that it doesn't want to go back. Yes. We'll pull it out, get it inside. I have parts everywhere. Hard drive. Hard drive. And somewhere needs to be tested. I haven't had time to go through it. Put it in a box, it will work. No, they pulled it so when they shipped them, they didn't have to ram. Oh, it's good. Oh, well, not new. They pulled it out. Pulled out, right? They should. Well, stop. Yeah. Second class. Oh, that then manufacturer. Oh, yeah, but yeah, if you want me to keep it alive, as long as it's not doing anything nefarious. I've had people say, can I do this point mighty? Yeah, but no. It's not a good use of the principle. That from this. But you would like. Hey, you got it. Hey, so, hey, what's your name? We have 17, but I need president. Well, my personal purpose is to have a team work that project will be better. Because you can bounce things around and you elevate their game. I think I'll give you a response. Did I do that right? So sorry. Other questions? Okay, hear what he said, you're all on, think about it. You have a lot of fun with ABM. Okay, I got a second. Right there. Since what I'm saying that was like. The piece of the puzzle underneath the covers that is really, really job sale right now. So SCM software defined. And that is something I can put in our product. So yeah, you can create a virtual machine. I'll show you how to do virtual machine. And you can do some of the suit. Make your flavor tiny, whatever. I'll show you how you should sing. See, it's that one big old, very long family. It's all part of the DevOps and small that shit. That's how, you know, everything's on KPM. So Phillips D.com is on a $5 a month live. All I need. Works great. Well, that's is that I know prototype. Yeah, it can be done. This is all. I think you could run maybe a window. I got one. I'm not a guy. Oh. I use it. CD. Yeah, it's part of the game. We'll take it out, we'll look at it, see if you want more hard drive, see what the memory is, add, subtract memory, and put it back in. The BIOS settings on these things are very complex. And it's got hardware grade, which needs to be set up with BIOS. So our career forward, no, it's like. I can get over the once there. Yeah, that's like part of it. It's fun. But it's like looking at a real computer. Then he said, oh, let's just think, he walks off and it's gonna go. I get Google it, shit, man, I'm gonna do it tonight, and sit there. This, these, we only have two of this. Okay, so. I have no idea. It could be, but there's nothing, I mean, that's why we have. You know, this is the. We have a couple of them that have the identified. With this qualifying, we decided to go for it. You leave the project from you, basically gonna, I'm scared that you're supposed to. You got a credit card, you got a card, you got Steve, and they have a plan of well, and if we do approve, then we know what we're talking about. They'll have to sweat it. Well, it is all in nature. Walls, maybe everything. That's what's it's about, you learn. You don't think you said no, this is not learning classes. You know, basically, the reason I say not having met, I don't know what you know. So what I don't want is something you're comfortable with. That we don't truly say it's a secret. Well, it's here's what I asked my simple question. It's like we don't have like you guys all have projects you want to do. That rest of the need something that you would like to do. Like it won't pop. Do the job and and it's pushing. You know, and I've heard of it. Anyway, and that's what's getting it. It's project. Yeah, I got like you said, resources for it. It's not learning. So it is learning. It's inherent. So it I've been trying for just tell me, give me a paper to do this. No, I'm back in 16. No, no. That's not how you should try it. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. I really like just tell me to do. Start with setting up a networking ADM. Say, machine. Make them all the same, I'm all on. Start there. So are these like where you go from there? Are these allowed in premises or within activity? These are all down on this. I know you is to put a feather in your cap to help you get the life. That's probably the change. I probably get to touch the professional level of it. That is gonna change based on the person and the theory. But just make it extra spicy, kind of. Yeah. Like, you know, the red ring, like, he says he got one somewhere, but yeah, got a few more. We're not using one difference. I mean, the personal stuff. I generally don't let raspberry. Because they almost look me and get blown out. I don't have any spare. That's. I've got. But I've read two. And when this is like a real job, though, we got this, but you got this. Real job. Well, get around that and do max. I don't. You're gonna. Oh, I didn't know if it was. Get Raspberry Pi and mark up, maybe, you know. I was thinking it's basically this one, you're sending up today, I this guy's only about what do you want to do? Which is for site. You said that we move out and add learning. Yeah, we'll let. Yeah. I think, married on for a couple of days. So, yeah. That's not in the finish meeting with the back. I've never been fired from the super crew for campus. This is what it's on. That absolutely. Yeah. Watch the video on it. Let's sit on this. We're watching something being fired from campus. It helps it. I didn't. It's this like tonight. The team are kind of stable. So next day. That's why when we assign that I no, you just make up your like I randomly assign you. I don't know. Setting up ADM. There's an abstraction layer software that we can be systemic tool that you can do after that or during the recommendation is create a flat link on the side and get them all working. Get NCT working, get all that stuff working inside of flat link. Then address software defined layer because that abstracts the virtual machine running on a piece of hardware. You can have multiple pieces of hardware running on one physical piece of hardware. That's pretty easy to think about. Software defined networking is you have a flat network across this entire campus. Then you have a layer on top of it that virtualizes everything. So when you VLAN something off, what you VLAN off is not a physical switch, but a piece of this switch and a piece of that switch. Right about quantity. No. So SDN is a higher level abstraction and network and understanding how that works. In a virtual sense, it's different. With this work, if I had if you install right? And I put my server that is within the master controller and then put how they can stay there. Would that work if like client and slaves on the server? Would that not be acceptable? Basically, because they'd be fighting through one essentially through the server, eat it out, wait on it. And essentially one server would be boxing and the other 5 points for that. That's a kind of like if I'm from, you can tell me, do it on your laptop. I think I have to get it. But you should get 4 terabytes of RAM. Yeah, what do you got? It's not in the machine. I don't know how. I have one big plus five. No, these are all just standalone blocks of our own idea. They're not linked on the permission. It's not over. I thought you were giving us like some space on the I found that. Literally giving you the machine. You're getting a physical piece of hardware. You get to build your own, and that's fine. It's like, we sign up for like email or Google Drive, they give you some of the dynamics. They don't literally mail you some, then you get a box, put all together if you want. But I got it. Yeah. Once you get things set up, create Linux distribution as your server. That's the one people want to get into from on campus to be able to manage. No, you want Johnny or Chrome OS. Yeah, I'm using Debian. I thought and but you can use Red Hat. Problem with Red Hat is that they are more advanced in their hardware, and our hardware is not cutting edge. Debian is not cutting edge. It's stable, but not the latest and greatest, which is why I run it. And Debian just needs to be managed. Takes a little more in the beginning. Once you get it up, you can run your extra nodes. I can show you how to do extra nodes over the net, so you can be somewhere else and get it on the desktop. You can use Spice or VNC or Infinity P. Make it later. There's a lot of I didn't think it was slow. Right. I didn't know that's what I used to back. Right. Right. What you said, because as a stage, we're going to be sitting in these not saying we get a full remote desktop, full graph. How was that? I can see this kind of come in next week and it goes, we get your machine. It says 256 megabytes of RAM. No, you have to build the machine. That's what you gotta do. But if each one have one, then one would be. You know. I think, no, so here's what I do. There's two machines over here, you can't. For the class plays here. So that's right now. So. There. Was my written letter for many years. I looked at the complete check out of witnesses. It worked great. State other money here. That was on a. Oh, you were one kid. You really had much better. Oh, no, I didn't. I did tape in it. And. I heard they sell you some stuff. Is that real? Like, if you want to Google on Microsoft, they're gonna end up and look out the 90 terabyte thing. Is that real? Yeah. Yeah, the Tivoli. No, Tivoli. Tivoli secret key is a tape drive backup with AI infrastructure. It's beauty. It's not fast. You can restore. You can back up things and then say, hey, I need this file from 3 days ago. And you can get it within minutes. So the speed of restore is why you pay in their case about $1 million, $800,000. Take backup system. Do you have any of those enterprise tapes? Not obviously not the 14. Hey, it's already those are classic. 86, 486, and I think one of them, I don't know if they all move, but we had to have it or not. If you want hardware, I know where to put send you your hardware. Seriously, why drive in against the work? It's you don't need a recycling center. You get free hardware. That's fine. They will say that. You can get it. Yeah, but don't you have to tell them like you're a teacher or something?
No, just tell me you're a student. It's an Alameda Recycling Center. And I would recommend if you go to a recycling center, go to where the rich people turn in the computers, because that's where you're gonna get good computers.
Right.
Yeah, so you can find really decent computers for free. And it's a sidewalk warranty, as soon if it doesn't work, you just bring it back and they give you money. So and they don't pay for shipping, so it's usually better to go up, see what you want. Get your old CRT monitor.
Yeah. If you're gonna be playing older games, a lot of people don't know that. They say that when you're playing older games, whatever, and you notice it's jittery.
Alrighty. Have a good evening. Take care, James.
All right,
thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
You bet. So we'll get ready, bring your screwdriver. Yeah, we'll take things apart, put things together. Have good fun.
Are you gonna get mad if we don't put wrist straps? I see it like. Like, I mean, are they required? Because I mean, everybody says to use grounding straps, but I've never seen it.
This machine, these machines are pretty harsh.
What I was getting at was like for entry level or let's use the real word. 4 people level machines. They're like, but like as you get up to the more expensive machines, where it's like in millions of dollars, whatever, they might want you.
Yeah, the more dense. You have trillions of chips or registers in there.
So how long does the provision take when getting it? Is it realistic if I came in tomorrow, say, hey, I would like to do this, you'll say, okay, here's your lot. Does it take the whole session? Is it realistic to be able to?
It's all semester. And if you're around and, like, if you leave the country, I'm gonna be provision block, but if,
That's not what it was like. So for example, like I'm in class about 2 3 hours. It's not, is it, because I've never used the machine before, is it unrealistic to expect to be able to work on it during that session? Or is it like you should control it because it's gonna take?
I'll be here early. So once we get things rolling, the goal would be to have it up and running with the base OS. You know, by the end of, May.
Which version were you running? Because you said you were running another version, but they're going
10.
they're going to.
I think 11 should,
Which character from Toy Story is that? Sorry, no,
I don't keep track of that one.
it's a Buster.
Bullseye, bookworm.
Well, if it's Bullseye, okay. Well, the reason I'm getting at this is what I heard again, we're in enterprise running the versions. More people consumer level, they run the latest leading edge. That's why I was asking which version, because I don't want to come in here and think, oh, okay. You got the latest and greatest, and it doesn't look.
For what you're gonna do with the KVM, it doesn't matter. You need to take it back. It's not gonna matter that much because you're not entirely sorted.
But a lot of the older drivers, they don't. That's what's getting.
That's why we're sticking with the older stuff, because we have older hardware rating. And it works with Debian 5. I will test it with Debian 12 when Debian 12 is released later this month, or June.
Oh, wait.
I'm curious to see.
I'm not used to slow access. It's usually, okay, we'll provision it and here's your passcode, login. Like, if that's equivalent of me saying, hey, Peter, send my email password. That's the level I'm used to. It's, you're not even allowed to, I'm allowed to know this.
Yeah.
This is a door and it says off limits. That's the level I'm used to.
This is why we have this lab. We are very, very fortunate. Very.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right, take it easy.